If you're ambitious but lazy, you need to watch this video. Right now you probably have big goals and dreams, but for some reason, you still haven't gotten started. You feel as though something is preventing you from taking action, even though you know it's only through action that you will get the things that you want. Maybe your dream is to build a profitable business so you can finally become financially free, live life on your own terms, and have more free time to do the things that you love. Maybe you want to get into your dream university or make your parents proud. Whatever it is that you want, you can achieve it. You just need to know how. And my goal with this video is to help you to overcome your procrastination and finally get started so you can finally get the results that you deserve. Now, since it's probably the first time you and I meet, why should you listen to me? My name is Fred and I'm an entrepreneur from a lower middle class background. I went from having only $400 to my name over 5 years ago to making upwards of $1,000 a day selling services and consulting online. Over 5 years ago, my friend and I decided to conduct a small experiment to see who would be most productive. Now, I'll tell you, I wanted to be successful extremely badly. I wanted to make 10, 20, $30,000 a month with my business so I could finally enjoy life. Prove to my parents, look, making money online is real, it's actually possible. And I also didn't want to end up like my father, going and working a soul-crushing 9-to-5 job just because I have to, just to pay my bills and my taxes. And I just wanted to be able to afford things without constantly having to worry about the price of everything. Growing up in the lower middle class, life honestly just sucked. Very often, I would see my mother spending hours of her time filling out these online surveys just to get free products at the grocery store in exchange of her opinion, and she would always go grocery shopping on the least expensive days. Every cent, every dollar mattered, and every single day on top of that, I would hear my parents complaining about the price of literally everything. They would complain about the price of bread, electricity, gas, clothes, everything. While at the same time, I would see these wealthy kids at school getting dropped off in brand new Mercedes sedans. They wore expensive clothes, and every year they'd get the latest iPhone. While at the time, I didn't even have a phone, and I had to get up super early in the morning to force myself to take the crowded bus to go to school. I was fucking miserable. And I remember the first time I arrived in my middle school, people made fun of me because my bag was cheap. And that's not even the funniest part. Just a week or two before the first school day, with my parents, we were outside and we found a $50 bill, like it was in euros, but you get my point, on the floor. And we used that money to buy me a bag for school. So the bag was brand new, but because it wasn't an expensive brand and the design was cheap, of course people made fun of me. It wasn't good enough in their eyes. So I'm sure that you can see that growing up in this kind of environment, it made me want more out of life. Maybe I'm describing exactly what you're feeling right now or what you've gone through. And as a kid, I saw how miserable my father was because of his 9-to-5. At work, he was treated like a commodity. He was underpaid and undervalued. And that, among many other things, led him down the rabbit hole of addiction. Growing up, I'll be honest with you, I had a very shitty relationship with him. I genuinely hated him. We'd often get into heated verbal and physical arguments. So I wanted to do better. I not only wanted to show my parents there was an alternative path, a path that could allow you to make so much money without limits and also just be able to be free, be in control of your time, not have to ask a boss for permission to go on vacation or literally time your bathroom breaks. But on top of that, I just wanted to make so much money, I could afford anything, buy nice shit. But the thing that mattered the most to me was to never ever have the pressure of having to work a job ever again. It's funny because this morning as I woke up, I literally had a dream in which I was basically telling my parents, if I make $1,000 a month with my business, you have to let me quit school. I don't want to go to school. And the reason I had this dream is because I genuinely hated my school days so much, because I never resonated with the traditional path, which is to study extremely hard for however many years and to then settle for an okay job and an okay pay. I wanted so much more out of life. Not to mention that in my opinion, school is a huge scam. It doesn't actually teach you anything. Now, when I was in high school, I was forced to do many unpaid internships. So I did internships in multiple restaurants, phone repair companies, even a convenience store, and I also did an internship for a temporary work agency, and I was miserable every time. And when I was doing my internship for the temporary work agency, it really showed me how miserable I would be if I followed the traditional path. They were essentially hiring people to go work for big companies, except that the kind of jobs these people would have to do, it was honestly the worst possible fucking jobs. They would have to get up at 3-4 a.m. so that they could go work at the factory at 5 a.m. And every time I would see them walk into the office with that dreaded look on their faces, and I couldn't help but think, oh my god, I never want to end up in that position. Because I knew I couldn't have handled that life, especially if you do that for the next 40 years. So I knew that in order to achieve my goal, coming from nothing, I would need to work extremely hard, harder than most people would ever be willing to. So with a friend of mine, we decided to conduct a funny experiment. We both wanted the same things, to build a profitable business online so we could be financially free and make money from anywhere in the world. My friend was going to take a more relaxed approach. He was only going to work 4 hours a day, and then the rest of the time, he would give himself some free time. He could watch watch his favorite shows, have fun, while I, on the opposite, was going to follow the hustle culture approach. I was willing to do whatever it took to become successful, and I told myself anything which isn't work, it's a distraction, so I need to eliminate it. Because I was in so much pain, I just wanted to get the hell out of this shitty situation, and the quicker the better. So I told myself I'm going to get up at 5 AM every day of the week, weekends included, work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, until I became successful. Can you guess what ended up happening? At the end of the month, because we tracked everything, our good habits, what time we woke up, how many hours we worked, inside of an Excel sheet I built myself, it turns out my friend significantly outworked me, even though he did a lot less in a day than me. Now you may wonder how come that's even possible. Well, that's because, to tell you the truth, I could only stick to this busy hardcore schedule for 2 to 3 days maximum, and then I was so exhausted, so tired, that for 2 full weeks I wouldn't do any work. I would just spend all of my time procrastinating. Now nowadays, I get up at 5 AM and I work 10 to 13 hour days, 6 days a week. But the reason I'm able to do it effortlessly, or almost effortlessly, is because I have a strong enough reason why I do it. And to get to the point where I was able to work that hard took me years, I won't lie to you, because I had to become a different version of myself. I had to evolve into the disciplined, confident, and hardworking version of myself. So my mistake 5 years ago was essentially to try to change everything all at once in my life. As long as I tried that, I was stuck for months and even for years. Which is why the main lesson I want you to take away from this video is that you need to start small. Don't be like me 5 years ago and tell yourself, I'm gonna get up at 5, take a cold shower, work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are going to fail. It's a guarantee. You do need to take massive action in order to become successful, but you have to build your capacity to work hard over time. It's like the first time you walk in the gym, you're not going to try to lift the heaviest possible weight. That's stupid. No one does that. Yet for some reason, when it comes to working hard, we think we can just work extremely hard literally overnight, when before we spent our entire days procrastinating and checking our phone. It's like for the New Year's, people set resolutions. They say, I'm gonna stop smoking, stop drinking, start exercising, start my business, and they expect tomorrow when they wake up it will be easier to start, but it won't, because tomorrow when you wake up you will be exactly who you were when you went to sleep the previous night. Change only happens when you make it happen. It doesn't happen on its own. So be smarter than me, learn from my mistakes, start small and slowly increase your inputs over time. And if you can do that successfully, if you can put your ego aside and be willing to start small, believe me when I say you will get ahead of 99% of people almost effortlessly. Now if you'd like to discover how I went from struggling financially, only having $400 to my name over 5 years ago, to making upwards of $1,000 a day at 21, selling services and consulting, I've recorded a free video in which I share with you exactly what I did step by step. That way, you can literally just copy me. Or if you're committed to building your business so you can be financially free, you can directly book a free call with me or my team and we'll see if we can help you. All of the links will be in the description. Now look, I speak to a lot of people every day, and the thing that I often get is that people are too scared to take action, even if they know it's the right thing to do. Human beings are typically afraid of the unknown, and it's the reason why sometimes you can see someone in an abusive, toxic relationship and they stay in that relationship. So from the outside looking in, you could wonder, well, what's wrong with that person? Do they like being abused? Why don't they just break up already? Well, that's because the brain prefers familiarity over the unknown, even if what's familiar is literally ruining your life and making you miserable. So sometimes you can't trust your own brain. You've got to take action and do the thing anyway. And that's the same reason why so many people all over the world tolerate having mediocre jobs and mediocre salaries, mediocre lives. They know they could do more, do better, be more aligned with their life's mission, but they don't even get started because they tolerate mediocrity. The truth is, change only happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. 5 years ago, I was struggling with so much anxiety, it got so bad I couldn't even leave my parents' house for months to simply go for a walk in the neighborhood. And at some point, because like I said, I really wanted to become successful, the pain just became unbearable. I knew that if I stayed as I was, nothing would ever happen. My dreams would literally die with me. And for me, that's like the worst possible tragedy. It's not until the day I told myself, you know what, fuck this, I've had enough, that my life changed. I grabbed a piece of paper and I wrote down all of the things I was afraid of. And then I forced myself to do one thing that scared me every single day until I felt fearless, limitless. And even to this day, when I'm afraid to do something, I'm gonna go ahead and force myself to do that thing. Because on the other side, there's growth. Even if I don't end up getting what I want, there will be a lesson for me to learn. So either way, I'm making progress. You have to understand that the dreams that you have in your heart, they will never go away. If you want to build a business so you can become financially free, that dream that you have will never ever go away. You'll never be able to satisfy yourself with an average existence. But the longer you wait to get started, the more you delay the moment you finally make it and get what you want. There's literally no benefit to waiting. It took me 10 years from the moment I I typed how to get rich in the YouTube search bar to the moment I had my first $1,000 a day in sales at 21. And part of the reason it took me so long is because, of course, I didn't know what I was doing, but also I was unwilling to do uncomfortable things. And those were the things I needed to do to become successful. Everything that you want is on the other side of the boring work you're avoiding. So please learn from my mistakes and start taking action, even if it's just a small step. So look, you need to make a choice now. You can keep watching YouTube videos on how to improve your life, how to make money online, but doing that won't change your life or make you more money. Or if you're committed to starting your business so you can become financially free, you can check out the free resources in the description below or directly book a free call with me or my team and we'll see if we can help you. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower more ambitious individuals across the globe to become a better version of themselves and become financially free.